Good morning, folks. The real Captain Kirk here, live from Weather Trends 360 Studios here in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. If you're looking at the calendar, as we are already, it's just meteorologists, again, we say summer's going to end here in about 12 days. I'm really not liking that answer, so if we go with the sun, at least it's going to end in about 33 and a half days. So we're more inclined to stick with the sun here for a little bit more of summer weather. If we look at, I don't know if you're getting zapped by these little guys, these little mosquitoes, but they are ravenous here in the east. So we got some strategies here, hopefully, that can zap these guys coming up. If we look at the soil moisture, we can see why. Again, just very, very wet here in the east. Obviously, many areas are having some of the wettest conditions in 30 plus years, if not near record wet in the east. Almost rainforest type rainfall as we're seeing down here. So about 40-50% rainfall moisture, soil moisture actually down here. In the east, we can see a lot of these greens starting to dry out a bit. So getting down in the 25-20% range is a lot better than this 35-40% soil moisture. Where we had some moisture, it's actually drying out again in the Midwest. So they went from dry to wet and probably going back to dry. If we look here at the week ahead, temperatures, again, we see much of the country is pretty cool. Actually, overall for the U.S., would be the 10th coolest of the past 30 years. So again, on the cool side, below average temperatures. Rainfall, again, here, at least in the northeast, mid-Atlantic, we're drying out a little bit, much below normal rainfall here for the week ahead. Good news, hopefully we'll start to kill off some of these mosquito populations. Still dry in Texas, but again, got some wet spots in the Midwest. Jumping ahead next week, this cool pattern won't last too long, starts to erode, start to get some heat building back in the plains. Again, but the good news is if you don't like mosquitoes, this will start to at least, again, this dry area here in the south and the east, again, much below average rainfall going into the last part of August into September. So that's good news. Again, if you like it overall, the U.S., we'd say it's about the 5th warmest and 10th wettest of the past 30 years. Real concerned about the Hawaiian Islands. As a kid growing up in Hawaii, I remember Hurricane Eva and a lot of Kona lows and storms that hit Hawaii. This one needs to be watched. Hurricane Lane, while some models and the official track tilt takes it south of the Hawaiian Islands, it's getting very, very close. And some models actually plow it right through the Hawaiian Islands, curve it back out, and then take it out again. So it's going to be a minimal hurricane, strong tropical storm hitting the islands. Probably we need to look at the Friday through Sunday time frame. So again, keep an eye on this track because it has been shifting more and more closer to the islands. So pretty concerned about that. We jump out to the other end of the Pacific. Again, we got a couple typhoons out here. The big one's looks like it's going to hit Seoul, South Korea area probably around Thursday. And then there's another weaker one right behind it that looks like it's going to head more toward Osaka in Japan. And then if we look, these are the wave heights. So again, pretty big waves. You see these two dueling hurricane typhoons. And then we got another one and another one. So there's about 4 systems out there, and these are all kind of recurving, which again is a sign of a fall pattern. So as these do this, cold air comes down in North America. So again, looking for a cold fall here in the eastern U.S. If we jump we're starting to see a lot more activity in Africa. This is where we look for the late season hurricanes in the Atlantic Basin. Right now, it's pretty quiet, nothing to worry about. But again, we're starting to see some activity here. Lots of inhibiting factors here. But again, starting to get to the peak of the hurricane season, so something definitely to watch. As we look at the early Labor Day weekend outlook, again, a little bit of cool maybe here in the Northeast for the, again, early outlook for Labor Day weekend in about 2 weeks. And again, hot out in the plains. And again, we still see this predominantly kind of dry pattern for the most part in the east and the south. So where it's been kind of soggy, hopefully we're going to get kind of a drier trend, and we definitely could use that. And then unfortunately, it's back to school. A lot of kids are already going back to school, but get back in the work mindset. Don't forget, you can follow again. Captain's Log is right here on our dashboard page. You know, we talk about what we're talking about here today and bigger pictures of the maps, and then follow us on Facebook. Folks, have a great week, and we'll be back here next week, same time.